That's a laser pointer.
Yep.
That will advance your slide.
Thank you. So just kind of before we start, just a little bit about me, because I bet many of you are wondering who this kid is, just kind of standing here. So I have, ever since I can remember, I have just been absolutely fascinated with space, and I have done everything I can to get there and become an astronaut. Although I have had my flight hours, although you can't quite see it, I've, I've been a Boy Scout, and so I've had many backpacking trips, and I'm a current member of the Prescott Astronomy Club. So I've done many other things outdoors. I do a lot of mountain biking and hiking, but the main thing is that I just wanted to share my passion with all of you. So I know that it's a bit past the solar eclipse, but what I wanted to define is how solar filters can be used not only for the eclipse, but also for everyday viewing. So first of all, what is a solar filter? Well, solar filters are these little guys that you will normally see, and they have the really special ability to block out pretty much every particle of light. So many of these solar filters can actually be in different formats though, in the sense that currently most of us have optical telescopes that work on lenses or mirrors, but there are even telescopes that work on X-rays and infrared, which are both spectrums of light that we can't see. And so that is where you can get some pretty weird images. And none of these are color enhanced or anything. These are just the images that they have taken. So most solar filters are actually made out of mylar. And you might realize mylar from the Apollo missions. It was used on the lunar lander, and also on many party balloons. So if you ever have a party balloon, I'm not suggesting this, but you can just kind of tape it to the telescope and that'll work, right? But some other uses for it is that the ISS currently has spacesuits that are mylar coated so that the astronauts can look straight into the sun, because once you get above Earth's atmosphere, the sun can get way more intense, and you need solar filters just to be able to not be fried, basically. So mylar, it has many properties that other solar filters might not. So with mylar, it is basically aluminum foil, if you have ever taken it off of something. And it is an amazing material because it is very light, although it does have some setbacks because just like aluminum foil, it can tear pretty easily. And if you put a fingerprint on it, then you'll get a weird ISS-shaped blob on your solar filter, which I find pretty awesome. So now we're going to switch over to how you can photograph the sun. So what I've found is that many people will spend a lot of money working on cameras and different equipment and even different tripods. And so what I've found works is that you can simply have one of a $40 adapter for your smartphone and put it up to the telescope and attach your smartphone to that telescope through the adapter, and then you can do anything you need, and it looks really good. So this image right here is actually an image I took right through my smartphone. And so you can see that there aren't many sunspots, and the cool thing about optical solar filters is that they still include sunspots. This was actually a particularly rare day where I thought my solar filter was broken because there wasn't any sunspots. But they can actually capture sunspots and even satellites if you're lucky enough. So the best time of day is in the early morning because the atmospheric distortion, which is how the air bubbles up, has not quite started yet. So sometimes I've even climbed up rocks just to get my telescope to the earliest point so that I can see the sun first, which can be pretty interesting because some of these telescopes are 90 pounds or more. So some other types of telescopes are infrared telescopes, which are unique for their ability to be put on any kind of transportable vehicle. You might realize infrared telescopes from areas like First Contact, if any of you have seen that film, or if any of you have kept in date with NASA, they had their SOFIA program, which was to put an infrared telescope on a Boeing 747. And this actually produced many